wanted to touch on a little bit with the skiing of what we have here to show today, as far as actually ski setup and a little bit on the ski design and our philosophy for the ski design. Basically what I've got to show here is the same shot. On the left side we have 28 off, and on the right side we've got 38 off. But I want to show what a different path we take into the buoy at between 28 off and 38 off. Now what I'm really interested in here is this path right here, where we see this line, this is 38 off, get much straighter here than what we see at a 28 off coming through here. But if we take this back and we come right off the wakes, right off the edge change, we're coming off the edge change very similar place. And this is a lot of what in my skiing when I was competing and when I was setting up skis was I wanted to be able to have my ski and make sure that I was able to carry my momentum, carry it here. So sometimes my setup was a little bit harder to ski at 28 off than what it was at 38 off. But as we run this here, we see a much straighter line here. So we're actually having to come across here. We get angle through the gates, pretty much the same angle through the gates, pretty much the same edge change. But because we're further up on the side of the boat, obviously traveling much faster, we need to be able to keep as much momentum into this turn as we possibly can, so that when we finish the turn, we can end up with the same, very similar rotation as what we would at 28 off or 38 off. But if I set the ski up to be able to try to create this same 28 off arc at 38 off, I would be out here, and all of a sudden I would have a lot of my ski in the water, which I see a lot of skiers try to do. They try to get a lot of their ski in the water at this point, feeling like that's slowing down, that's deceleration, which yes it is, but the trouble is you've still got a long ways to go before you reach the buoy. So if you're decelerating with a lot of ski in the water here, you're going to have an awfully tight line by the time you get to the finish, which makes it very, very hard to rotate. And if you do get rotated at 38, you've killed all your momentum, which means probably going into 2 and 3, you're going to carry a lot extra velocity and speed than what you really need. But going back to here, this is where we come across the wake here. You know, we get the front of the ski to initiate into the turn, but then we want it to kind of stay kind of somewhat out of the water so that we can maintain the direction, we can maintain the run. There's a lot of fin setup of what can happen right at this point. If I had this picture in mind of what I wanted to do at 38, you know, I could set up my ski to be able to rotate out the same way as what this one is. But the trouble is, I would end up making my turn sooner before the buoy. I would actually rotate inwards. The ski would come back to center line too early. And then we have what happens is like a double pump. We have to come back up, we have to run, we've lost a lot of momentum, and we make a turn which might be really tight, but we're going very slow. If we had a GPS on us right there to measure the speed, if we do a double pump, we're much, much slower than if we're able to run it right through here, carry the momentum, and take the pull all the way on through. At the Mapple Performance Centers, as we deal with skiers as they come to be able to have their skis set up, these are kind of things from experience that, you know, me personally, I've learned over the years with obviously going through a lot of setups, a lot of different skis. You know, we really work on where the skier is at, you know, and where the skier, what kind of arc the skier carries, what kind of style you have of what kind of arc you would take at a longer line length, to what we need to have when you're reaching more towards your goal. You know, that goal for some skiers could be 39.5 off, it could be 22 off. Either way, at the longer line lengths where we start, we take a look at that and we take a look at the ski setup of where that is. And a lot of times we can see what's going to happen here, what's happening here, you know, may or may not be right here. So we take the two into mind of, you know, we take this visual of the skier to start with, and then where we want them to be. So there's some technical changes in style, some course management, but this really helps us on setup of a ski, you know, ski design, what ski you need. Does your ski, you know, does it get too much tip pressure? Does the ski run? Is it holding well, where the skier has to have confidence in his equipment right here that, you know, hey, coming in at this point, you know, you've got to have confidence that that ski's going to rotate and it's going to hold, you know, or that you can rotate that, you know, because right through the apex here, you're already kind of taking it and starting to pull. So these are things that we can take a look at and communicate. You know, the important thing with the skier is communication between anybody, a coach or anybody, is what they're feeling, what you're seeing. Somewhere you have to come together to be able to do that. But this is really important. This, no matter what level you're at, you know, slalom is about where we finish, not where we start.